men will beg to serve. Yeah, I'm just a normal dude with a lot of money.
Normal guy with a lot of money.
Who pay me $125,000.
Meet Abdul with over 120K followers on Instagram.
I mean, I hated the 95.
Like, what is it about Dubai and dating here where it's not the best experience?
Dubai, I feel, is very, very shallow when it comes to dating. Men date women for their bodies, women date men for their pocket. And I'm not into that. When you meet people like they don't have depth, they are just fickle. As a man, if you can't train yourself to be committed while you're single, you can't be committed while you're married. I get to see over 3,000 women in a year because of the affluence and influence that I have. This is the happiest I've ever felt in a long time. Welcome to Dubai.
I'm here. We meet again in
Finally.
the flesh this time.
Yes.
What's up? How are you?
I'm fine, in great spirits as always.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. You know, welcome back again.
Yep.
You know, my name is Jalen.
And I'm Abdul Qawiyy.
And welcome again to this beautiful Bad Girl podcast. Okay, where we talk about securing the bag,
Yep.
stepping into our feminine energy. Well, yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Okay, we're going to talk about all of that. So I'm excited to talk with you again. We have some updates and some tea that we need to get into with your life, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
But let's remind everyone like who you are.
Yeah. My name is Abdul Qawiyy. 26-year-old Nigerian based in Dubai, a millionaire. I've sold 2 brands for $128 million when I was 21. I'm currently building Phoenix watches to the $100 million mark. I'm just documenting the entire process and living my best life in Dubai.
Millionaire.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, you know, everybody's like, oh, we're going to get the 8 figures, we're going to do 7. He's like, nah, it's okay. Y'all cute. Y'all are cute. Like, that's all right. That's all right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be like 26 years old and very successful like that?
I feel like success is relative to people. I think my height of success will be when I'm married with kids.
Okay.
But I mean, like living my life knowing I don't have to report to no boss and I can make money at will. I literally just donated $286,000 to get a second passport. Yeah. Considering where I come from and also the background under which I was raised, I'm super excited. Like I've never been more excited about life than now.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you come from humble beginnings. You made this life by yourself with some people's help, obviously, but mainly by your thoughts and what you do. Like, I'm excited, man. And
So
knowing
what
that
is
I'm
the
building
main
a brand I'm going to hand over to my kids someday, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So I know you're like super, you know, I feel like you see everything really clearly. Like you have a vision for your life and everything, even when it comes to your family that you don't even have yet. Like they're like, no, like we're going to plan things out for them. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Like, why are you that? Like, what is your vision for your life when it comes to family and like legacy and stuff of that sort?
Yeah, I created a 20-year plan when I was 15 years old that I've been executing up until now. Some things have happened a lot faster, but I think it starts from me coming from a dysfunctional family and not wanting to replicate that kind of pattern. And there has to be someone that just stands up in an ancestral line that's like, hey, fuck all this that has been happening. We need to change things, right? I feel like I'm that person for my own generation, right? And I mean, I was young, seeing my mom crying every time, like by midnight. I'm like, I'm not going to be the reason a woman sheds tears in the midst of the night when she has no one to console her. And even though my mom is dead now, but I'm keeping on the legacy that of the promise that I made to her. And also because I feel like when you don't have to think about money to make decisions, you make the best decisions possible. But if you have to worry about where you live, what you eat, and what dress to wear, those cloud your judgment to the point where you're unable to ascend to the highest version of yourself. And even if you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, provision, shelter, and food is like the base instincts that we all have that needs to be taken care of before we rise to the top of the pyramid. So that's what drives me, and that's why I'm like, I want to give my kids an amazing life, but make them understand the value of $1.
Okay, and how will you do that? Because one person might say, oh, so, I know you're talking on Instagram, like, your kids already got like a huge network, like they're coming out the womb set up, okay? So how do you, because, maybe one person will say, okay, well, they didn't struggle for it, so are they going to really be able to appreciate it in the same way?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I get this a lot because people will be like, you became successful because you struggled, so your kids need to struggle. But I'm like, there are struggles. There are varying levels of struggles, right? There's financial struggle, there's mental struggle, there's social struggle because of social class differences. And like there are loads of things that people can struggle with, right? But by giving someone a leverage that they can pull to do whatever they want, like my own psychology behind it is I want to make sure that my kids are raised to be responsible humans. They have the character in check. And that's also why like who I'm going to be with, like who I'm marrying, also has to be a woman of character because kids, I believe in nurture. I understand that nature plays a factor into how we are as people, but also nurture also plays a big role when it comes to that. So I'm going to give them room to have that, explore that. The book that I read that really just drove me like, oh shit, there's something the ultra wealthy know that a lot of people don't know is Make It, Keep It and Grow It, The Secret of America's Wealthiest Families. And by reading that book, I'm like, there's really something that we're not taught. The masses are not taught. I mean, I am already aware of it now, like, but the masses are not taught about that. And for me, I've set up an home office. I want 6 kids. I'm investing $30 million for each kid. So by the time they are 21, they would have $161 million.
Sheesh, sheesh moment. He said, let's bring it back. 30 million each?
Yeah.
So the kids gonna have 30 million each?
Well, by the time they are 21, they'll have $161 million. This year I already invested $15 million. So like,
that's great.
Yeah. And I think it all boils down to also knowing where you're going and then making sure that you're putting the things in place. For me, there's always been e-commerce, right? Building branded physical product businesses and having a story, a vision behind it that people can buy into that helps get that on track, right? And yeah, like it's like if you want to go from point A to point B, you could either go with a taxi, a cab, or get a power bike, or get a
private jet.
Yeah,
it's giving private jet.
Exactly. So the destination you're going to doesn't change. It's just the comfortability of the journey and the experience, and then the people that accompany you on that journey that will determine how enjoyable it is or how terrible the journey is, right? So for me, it's like, I've been working all my life. I've been working since I was like 11 practically. But I started understanding wealth when I was 15, and then I made my first $1 million deal when I was 19. Since then, I sold my companies, 2 for $128 million at 21. So it's like, it's either you understand the language of money, right? Or you spend all your life struggling about money.
So even when it comes to that, because that's like a whole nother level of success, like in terms of like selling a company and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How did you figure out like your valuation for that company?
Well, in my space, e-commerce, like, it's 3 things that I always say you need to put in place for your brand to be successful, to even exit for hundreds of millions. 1, how much do customers spend on average with you? What's the frequency of that purchase, right? And then 3, making sure that the experience that they have is amazing. Because if customers don't spend enough money with you, that means you're going to keep spending money to acquire new customers. And then 2, if you can increase the frequency of that purchase, like if people buy from you just twice in a year, it's not going to affect the bottom line of the business in any way possible. But if you can increase that to maybe like 3 times in a month, or if you can increase it to like 6 times in 2 months, like if you can increase how much they spend with you as often as possible, then yes, like your business is going to generate cash flow, and everyone who wants to buy a business wants to see that. Like people fly to Dubai, pay me $50,000 for 2 days to sit down with me to understand how to scale their brands to like $50 million a year. And one of the things that I always tell them is, hey, the only thing you need to do is 1, improve the company culture. Like if you don't have a vision in the first place, like why will anyone want to work with you? And then 2, you also need to make sure that your customer experience is great. Like I always obsess about that. If people come through, and the experience starts from pre-purchase, because people are always talking about post-purchase, but hey, that can only change a few things. But if people experience an amazing thing before they buy, during the period of buying, and after they buy, then you can have like people
The loyalty.
wanting to come back, exactly, right? And then once your customers turn to ambassadors for you, like you just sit back and enjoy.
So who are these people? Like, are they just like investors who are just kind of like, all right, I want to buy some companies?
Yeah,
like,
so I have a friend, Vlad, who does valuation for brands, and he does private equity. So he helps people acquire brands and also sell their brands. And his process is like streamlined. It's within 90 days, your whole brand is sold, and he has access to $6 billion of buyers list. So people who
There we go.
Yeah, so people who are willing to constantly buy brands. Because so part of what I teach people, I have like one which is $125,000. People pay me $125,000, and then I show them how they can buy brands. So this is mainly for people who already have money, but they have little time, but they still want a profitable brand. So I call in Vlad. He checks to see if the numbers are valid, like, or are these people saying what they truly make, like are their profit and loss statements correct, right? And like what's the cost of their inventory, how often do customers buy, all this, like nitty-gritties to make sure that everything is tight knit. It then proceeds to help those people who have the money buy the brand. And now I come in with my own expertise and then scale the brand to like $50 million a
there
year.
we go.
And then within like a couple years, you can sell the brand. And the good thing is, like, since it is e-commerce and it is online, like you literally can have a brand valued for maybe 5, 10x, or maybe 20x sometimes. I've seen a brand get valued for 22x, right? So if your brand in this instance is making $50 million a year, if it is valued at 5x, that means you can sell it for $250 million, right? If it's valued at 10x, that means you can sell it for $500 million, right? So that is where my own game plan to have $5 billion by the time I'm
Did you
32
know that you
comes.
were going to sell this brand when you first created it?
Not really. But it was something that happened because so I had 2 brands. One was Bell Wasted, and it is for women who were dealing with, postpartum image issues. They didn't like how their belly was, sagging and stuff like that. So it's like a shapewear, but we mainly sold it to women post-childbirth. And then the second one was for shorter guys who were looking to date taller girls.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so it was just like, it was very, very successful, super early on. And I think that goes back to my own marketing background. I've always obsessed about direct response marketing. How can I make people buy from me as soon as possible, right? Because I didn't have money, so I had to figure out how do I get people to spend money with me, right? And so that's where that comes into play. And I feel like I got an offer I couldn't resist, because the brand did $90.5 million in 5 years. But when I got the offer, I was just like, holy shit, like this is 128 mil. Like, bro, you don't get that kind of offers twice in a lifetime, right? And however, knowing what I know now, I could have sold the brand for like $450 million or even more. But in hindsight, I wouldn't change anything. Yeah. So I tell people now that build the brand from the beginning, like you're going to sell in the end, even if you don't end up selling, because that helps you cross your T's and dot your I's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very,
I
very
love
important.
that. Okay, we got a little T there. I love that.
Yeah.
I want to go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
What is like your relationship with people? You know how there's people right now, they're like, I don't like people, or like I don't have a lot of people in my life, or whatever the case is. Like, how are you when it comes to like people in your life and having genuine connections and friends, especially as a successful person, perceivably?
I would say I'm more discerning now. I still do have people in my life from years, like decades. I have friends, but I've learned to also compartmentalize people. I know people that I can party with, and then I know people I can do business with. So before I only rolled with entrepreneurs. I mean, I hated the 9 to 5 starting out. Like, bro, I hated
What they do?
Because it was just like growing up seeing how my parents didn't really have time freedom or financial freedom, and knowing that salaries were left unpaid and all of that. I just never wanted the 9 to 5. And so I never really rolled with anyone other than entrepreneurs. However, as I grew and I learned that, like, okay, to make money, maybe you won't roll with this people, but to keep and multiply the money that you have, you need to have different people in your circle, right? So now I have like politicians in my circle. I have accountants, I have police officers, like, because all of these people, lawyers, they all play like different roles that are very, very strategic in preserving wealth. I've gone past like acquiring wealth. Right now I'm in the wealth preservation stage, which is like the final stage when it comes to finances. But it's more of the kind of people I want around me are also people who are either 2 steps behind me currently where I'm at, or at least 10 steps ahead of me, right? So, and then also people who have aligned interests, right? But yeah, like, I'm chill. It's just breaking into my circle now is a little bit harder because I need to be able to vouch for the quality of your character for you to get access into like my network. But I'm a chill dude. Like, I don't have any issues.
You seem like his vibe, like, because we met virtually, but you have a very, like, your spirit feels very, it's like light.
Yeah.
You have a very light heart.
Yeah.
It feels like you're very lighthearted and just very open and stuff like that, right? Have you been like that forever?
I've always been the kind of person to go all out for people that I care about. Like, even growing up, my mom would be like, bro, you, Baba, because she'll be like, Baba, she'll be like, you're different because I've always given everybody a blank slate. Like I say, how I treat you is based on how I see what you do. Like, you show me how I treat you, right? Like, I could be cold, and I only get cold or brutally ruthless when it needs to be. Like, if I know, oh shit, this person is overstepping, hey, I'll call you back like, motherfucker. You need to fix this, right? But outside of that, like, I'm just a normal dude with a lot of money. That's it.
Normal guy with a lot of money. That's funny. Okay. But we were talking in the car.
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking in the car.
Yeah.
Well, first, before I got out here, you were talking on your story saying, dating in Dubai is just... It's just, you don't even do it, this, that, and third. So I was inquisitive. I was like, why is that? Like, what is it about Dubai and dating here where it's not the best experience? Yeah. And then we need the updates. Yeah.
Okay. So first off, like, Dubai, I feel is very, very shallow when it comes to dating. Like, men date women for their bodies, women date men for their pocket, right? And I'm not into that. Like, I'm not into one-night stands or, just one off. I'm not into that kind of stuff. And so it's like when you meet people and you discover they don't have depth, like they're just fickle. Like, I don't want to waste my time with you. Any woman can give you sex, right? But not any woman can give you memories for a lifetime, right? And I was just like, nah, I'm not into none of this stuff. And I'm a proper gentleman. Like, I'll buy you flowers, go all out for you, but if I feel like the effort is not worth it, I'm not going to continue with that. So here, like, you
what
meet
happened?
people. Yeah, like, here you meet people and you just discover they are thinking for the week and you're thinking for a generation. It's like you have different priorities, right? Plus, I don't drink, I don't smoke, so I'm not the kind of person to say, oh yeah, we have to hit the club every night. I'm not into I'm not into none of that. And so, like, dating here is just, it's been a horrible experience. I was with someone that I thought I was going to be married to, but I just ended up discovering that we don't have aligned interests, and like our value system were very, very different, and it was things that I couldn't compromise on. I was just like, okay, fine, I respect you. I think we have to mutually end this. And it's crazy. I tend to be the one to move for, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore because I don't want to lead anybody on and I don't want to waste your time. So if I discover that you're not on your shit, like you're not into your personal development. I read a lot of books. I invest into courses, masterminds, and stuff that would stuff that would elevate my life. So if I'm trying to be up, but you're going to be a baggage, I'm sorry, I can't do that, right? And people say I don't act like I'm my age, like I act older. I'm like, bro, I became a man when I was a boy. So the whole dating scene just seems very, very shallow.
What is your worst dating experience? Is there
my worst dating experience? So I took this girl out. We went on a date. Actually, from the jump, I should have known, like, nah, this is it. One, I don't waste people's time. Yeah. I keep to time. Unfortunately, I didn't make a good experience today. Like keeping you waiting.
It's okay.
However, I got to our place and she kept me waiting for like 30 minutes while I was in the car. I'm like, bro, if you waste a second of my time, I'll cut you off first off. But I was so smitten by her, she's stunning. I was
she's
still
pretty.
Looking,
Okay.
I date pretty girls. It's just I date pretty girls with brains. So I met her and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll just get to talk, and I love to plan activities. So I planned us we did go karting, we went to the gun range, and then I planned jet skis, like just, different activities to see different sides to a person, and then like a yacht. Eventually I dropped her off at home, and then we started talking. That week she's like, she feels there's really not much she can add to my life because I seem very, very accomplished. So she doesn't think she would rather be with a guy who's struggling that she can build with than with me who seems accomplished. And I'm like, yeah, I had that exact same face. Because I'm like, boy, all I needed was companionship and then your presence, like, you being calm, you being kind. Like, it's more of the soft skills that I wanted. And
also,
like,
she didn't believe in her own presence, and her own
like,
feminine energy.
How can't you believe in your own potential to the point that you think, like, I didn't even ask you for nothing.
Yeah.
I took you out, took care of you. So I think that would be, I've had a few terrible experiences, but that would be like the top.
So she was just kind of like, you're too good for me in a sense.
Yeah. And I'm like, I keep telling that. And I think maybe I love languages, words of affirmation or everything, but I'm very, very expressive. So I keep telling her how amazing or representative she is. But I mean, I can't believe in you more than you believe in yourself anyway. Like, if you are constantly saying, no, bro, what would I do? I can't do shit for you. So I was just like, okay, it's fine. You do your thing, I do my thing.
Okay.
But the thing is,
you liked her.
Yeah, I liked her. However, if I have a romantic interest in a lady and it won't go anywhere, I can't be friends with you. Like, I can't just
cut it off.
Like, I'm not going. Once I cut it off, like, we're going to keep to our lane. I'm not going to be in your life. You're not going to be in mine, because I'm not going to string along to watch another guy be with a girl that I wanted to be with. Like, so you be in your lane. I don't know you anymore. You don't know me anymore. That's literally how I operate. Because, like, it's not like I'm operating from a lack of women. I get tons of attention from women. So why would I want to keep investing into something that isn't going anywhere? So I'm just like, yeah, you be in your lane, I be in my lane. Yeah, that was top one. top terrible experience.
All right.
For me.
Okay, so, you just kind of said, like, I attract a lot of women and stuff like that. So do you ever feel like it's hard to think of commitment, or like, what is your thoughts when it comes to that?
I've always been a committed person. Like, and I think it's because I have something that is a blessing and a curse. I can't multitask. Right? I feel like if I were to date two women at once, I'll call one the name of the next. That's how terrible I am when it comes to. But I've always been committed because I come from a family where my parents divorced when I was 8 years old, right? And I've always craved the feeling of belonging somewhere and wanting to just have that familial love. And I feel as a man, if you can't train yourself to be committed while you're single, you can't be committed while you're married. Because only titles change, people don't, right? So it's the same person that is your boyfriend, that'll be your fiancé, that'll be your husband, that'll be your father, that'll be a father to your kids, right? So if you can't trust him to be committed to you while you guys are, like boyfriend, girlfriends, why would he be committed to you while you are married?
So you've been in past relationships previously?
Yeah, I've been in past relationships. Like, whenever I'm in a relationship, that's what I'm seeing. Like, when I'm with a girl, I'm not talking to no other woman. I'm not entertaining no other woman. Now, I'm making it very, very clear that, hey, I have a girl. I'm sorry, but this can't. So if I'm in a relationship and you're trying to seek more, hey, sorry. Like, sometimes I even joke with my girl, like, hey, can you imagine? This is what is happening. I'm very, very open. I'm an open book. So I'm not into none of that. So I feel if you can't stay committed while you're single, you be a terrible shit when you're married. So, and I treat every woman I date like this could be my wife. So I only want to treat my wife with love, dignity, admiration, and respect.
Where does that come from?
I think it's because I made a promise to my mom when I was young that I wouldn't really make a woman shed tears. If you shed tears, it's either for two things. You shed tears from happiness and orgasms. Or you intentionally shed tears because you're sad for other reasons outside of me.
Outside of the shooting.
I mean, you can only compliment someone's happiness. You can't really make anyone happy because happiness is an inside job, right? But if you can make the happiness a better journey, then So it's just, I mean, I love my mom. Like, till at death, I really love my mom. The women in my life, I treat them with respect. My sister, my mom. I want daughters, and I also treat women the way I would love my daughters to be treated, right? I treat women the way I would want my younger sister to be treated. So that has always just been like a yardstick for me. And I've always wanted to be like a good role model to my younger sister. So that has always been how I operate.
So probably like a deep respect for your mom.
Yeah.
That's probably at the source of that.
Yeah. I respect my mom a lot.
Okay.
And I still do. I mean, I have a tattoo of when she was born and the day she died on me. So like, I really do respect my mom.
What is the relationship like with your dad?
Our relationship is very strained. Really strained. It's actually crazy. I've not spoken to him in over a year. Like, I tried to work on it, but hey, like, sometimes it's best to cut someone off than to allow them be in your life and give you headaches. So, and also, like, I think emotional intelligence is the most sexy thing you can find in anyone. Because like financial intelligence is cool, but if you have emotional intelligence, you could make a shit ton of money. Because people are constantly begging to be understood. And the customer only pays you for something when they feel understood, not when they understand what you're saying. Right? So also like, it's just like, I'd rather just, keep him at arm's length for now until I've built, the life that I want. And then, I care about my dad. I'd just rather not have anything to do with him right now than, it sucks.
Do you think that affects you in the way that you treat people and women?
No. I've learned to really shut out certain things and make sure. I've done hypnotherapy for 9 years, actually. 9 years.
I love that.
So it doesn't in any way affect me at all. And like, I feel everyone should really work on themselves, not only because of yourself, but also because of your progeny that you'll start someday. I even learned that how you treat a woman during pregnancy will impact how the kids even
totally
act when they are born. So I'm like, bro, I want to create a solid foundation for the man I want to be when I am married. And I can only do that when I am right now, when I don't have too much responsibilities. So I've always like just believed in that. And yeah, like I want to treat my wife with dignity, admiration, adoration, and respect and loyalty. So if I want to do that, I have to be that man right now, right?
Yeah.
And constantly reinvent myself, learn from my mistakes. And yeah, just do that. But yeah, that has always been my core.
Okay. But, recently things have changed.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember on the previous episode, you were talking about like what you would want out of a woman.
Yes.
And what you're attracted to and what would really be like that soulmate companion type of energy for you.
Yeah.
And I think, perhaps you might have found someone recently that you're really interested in. But specifically on that, like, what is it that you are really attracted to? Like, what would make you kind of be like open your heart and kind of feel like, oh, I do see a future with this woman. I do really feel attracted to her on a deep level.
Someone who's kind, and I always talk about like this, like someone who's kind, someone who's thoughtful, someone who's respectful, and someone who's loyal. And as you see, I didn't say big booty, big titties, none of that, because hey, at the end of the day, you could lose that at any point in time. But like a man like me has seen tons of women, bro. Like if the average guy gets to see like 10 women in a year, I get to see over 3,000 women in a year because of the affluence and influence that I have. But a lot of women see successful men and come as predators. They just want to take, and not necessarily see you like a human, but see you as a walking bank, right? So when you see a woman who is kind and thoughtful, she doesn't think about what you have. She thinks about who you are. And when you see that, it's like, whoa, in the midst of everybody who wants what I have, you see me for who I am. Yeah, this is who I want to be with, right? And then you will give her all that you have. That's what women get wrong. Because when you come at a man like every other person does, then you get the treatment that every other person gets. Like, and as the reverse is always the case, because men with affluence have predatory tendencies. They can become predators because, okay, like you have loads of game to hunt. I'm not referring to women as games. Like it's just an analogy. Like you have loads of women that are constantly seeking you, right? And you would have women that will throw their bodies at you just for them to be able to say, I was with this guy. I mean, we see ladies take pictures with men in bed, like just to say, oh, I was with this celebrity, I was with this superstar, right? So loads of women want to do that. But when you see the woman who, of course, like sex is just an added bonus, but that you genuinely feel childlike joy with, at least for myself. When I see a woman and she's so much in her feminine that I feel so safe and secure in our arms. And when I'm done working, I'm thinking, oh, after all this chaos, there's someone that is a calm to my storm. That right there is the kind of woman ultra successful men seek. Not someone who's like super dramatic, but nag and all of that. Like, and I tell women that there are ways to resolve issues without being obsessively confrontational or nagging or stuff. Like, women have so much power that if they truly know how to tap into their femininity, they'll be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Because, like, the masculine is meant to serve. The feminine is meant to nourish. Right? So if you are, as a woman, tapped deeply into your femininity, men will beg to serve you. And it's very magnetic.
Yeah.
But not so many women know how to tap into their femininity. So that's why, like, I just laugh when I see all this share, sprinkle bullshit online. Like, men who do things for you do it because they want to. Not because they have to or they need to. No, they do it because they want to. So all you have to do is just give them reason to want you. in their space. And boy, that man will do anything. He will move heavens for you.
That's why I say I have like a lot of successful friends that are men, women, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll hear like, oh yeah, even in my case, like, oh, you get a lot of options, you must get a lot of attention, whatever the case is. But really, it's like it comes down to the quality.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of quantity of everything and a lot of people coming to you, a lot of people paying attention to you. Yeah. But are you getting the kind of person that you literally see for the rest of your life? Like, I will put a ring on your finger tomorrow type person. Yep. And I think that's the most important thing of the spirit. Like when it comes, I know people don't talk about it, but femininity is not just about, all right, I'm going to, look good and adorn myself and, this, that, like, that's a part of it. Like, look good, look beautiful. But also, like, where's your heart at? Like, are you hurt? Have you healed? Yep. Are you open? Like, do you have an open spirit, an open aura, compassion, all that beautiful stuff? Yep. That's true feminine energy, in my opinion, right? Yeah. But, okay, so when you are in the sphere of a woman who has that aura, like, what does that look like? Like, how does that feel to you and your energy? Because you're a man. How do you kind of receive that?
Bro, men have both masculine and feminine energies, right? Yeah. And the feminine side of a man is the goofy, giggly, bubbly person, right? The masculine is the assertive, dominant, and all of that. So when you come across a woman who's truly in tune with her feminine, you're just like, you're like a child with its favorite toy. That have you ever seen a kid with its favorite toy? It never lets go of its favorite toy. Like you're just so excited to be in her presence. You're so excited to want to do things with her, for her, right? And by her. And like for me, I mean, when I met my girl, I completely ignored work. Not necessarily ignored work, but it was just like, please. And I do tell her, like, she's like the calm to my storm. She's kind, she's thoughtful, she's everything, man. Everything. And she just makes me so happy. Like, this is the happiest I've ever felt in a long time.
Oh my gosh.
Trust me. There are two people in this world I'll never play with now. My younger sister and my girl.
Aww.
Like, it's just... And my sister, I sent her my sister a picture and my sister's like, wow. Like, I can see how you're smiling and all of that. Like, yeah. Because success for a man requires chaos, a little bit of storm, right? Like, you have to be ruthless in making certain decisions in the business. You have to hire, do this. So, like, it's so draining sometimes. But when you meet a feminine woman, it's like, imagine having a phone exhausted and a power bank automatically just plugged to it. It boosts it up instantly, like it comes up, right? And you also pour into her, because that's the thing that some guys get wrong, right? Like, you meet a very feminine woman and because she's charging you, then you're not recharging her back. So you're draining her and she becomes exhausted. And the moment a feminine woman gets totally exhausted, she switches up. And that's when they're like, oh, where is this from? Like, bro, you took out the life out of her. So she had to hit the wall and then bounce back at you. That's when she gets very aggressive. Because you didn't nurture her. You didn't pour back into her, right? So that's when she flips the switch. And then she becomes aggressive and you're like, why are you aggressive? Bro, your actions and your micro actions were what led to this. So you have to deal with the consequences of that, right? But for me...
Do you think it's possible that every woman could be feminine, but maybe she wasn't nurtured in that kind of way?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, at the core, every woman is born feminine. Circumstances and situations and environment sometimes strips her of that femininity.
Some people say that, like, a man who's in his masculine, since he's a natural leader, he can almost like bring the feminine energy out of any woman.
Yes, true.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I believe in that.
Okay.
Like, if you're a proper masculine man, you want to protect, provide, secure, right? And there is no woman, despite like, I know so many successful women who are very successful tend to exhibit more masculine traits in the beginning to acquire the success, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any woman that will say, oh, no, I don't want you to take care of me. There's no
No, don't do that.
there's no woman that will be like, she may in the beginning resist because she's scared that
She's like, I can't trust this.
But if you're able to really show her, not just say, because there are a lot of people that can say, but hey, bro, it's about doing, right? If you can do enough to show her that, hey, like, just relax, I've got you.
Yeah.
And that's where being able to lead comes
And on
into
every
play.
level.
Yeah.
On every level.
Bro, I took my girls to the mall and I'm like, shit, we missed the direction. She's like, yeah, I've been here before, but I didn't even think twice. I didn't think, I was just following you. For her to trust me that much.
Yeah.
Like, we were to go this way, we went this way. She's been there multiple times. It's not the first time she's been there. She knows where we're going. But not once did she say, oh, no, this way. No, I was like, oh, shit, we just missed out. We have to go here. She's like, oh, yeah, it's true. I didn't even remember.
No,
you understand
y'all,
that?
when y'all are with a masculine man, you will feel like you're floating. Yeah. Like the feeling is floating.
She literally told me that same thing.
You'll literally feel like in your body, you're just gonna I'm just here.
She literally told me, yeah, she feels like she's floating.
No, that's what it feels like. For a woman, it's like you just feel. This is what it feels like. Like life is just happening. Yeah. You don't have to use your brain as much because naturally, especially when you're a successful woman, you gotta use your brain a lot. You gotta use your energy. Always in. But then it's like you get the moment to just like breathe and to live and to exist, and it's so natural. Yeah. Like it's everything that we want. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
But I do believe too that like men, in their energy, they'll bring that out of most women. But I also think that there's some women who can't fully receive that. Like they're just not at that place in their life. Maybe they have, things that they're still working through, like mentally, subconsciously, that, he could show up, try to do X, Y, and Z, but you're just not going to be able to receive that energy.
Yeah, that's where childhood wounds come to play. Mm-hmm. Like if our inner child isn't healed yet, she would sometimes self-sabotage. And that's where the book The Mountain Is You by Brianna West comes into play. I say every woman and every man should read it anyways, because sometimes the good that you want and crave comes your way, but you're too blinded by the rage that is within you to see it.
And fear.
And exactly. And so at that point, you're just like, this seems too good to be true.
Yep, because you're like, me? I can't have this.
Exactly. And the truth is, you make your own reality.
Right.
The mind makes the reality, right? It's whatever you can conceive in your mind, visualize and write down that becomes real, right? And if you can't comprehend that, oh shit, there can be someone like this,
right?
You won't be able to handle it when it comes your way, right? And so, like, you just have to understand that for you to attract the right partner, you need to have healed yourself first.
To a certain level.
Like, if you don't, when they come, there are so many ones that would be open again. Because one, the right partner is self-aware, right? They take accountability. They also will be willing to go any length to improve on their lives, right? But if you have not healed your own wound, you're going to, one, evade awareness. You're not going to, because it's 3 stages, right? self-realization leads to self-actualization, right? And then self-actualization leads to self-preservation, right? But if you're not even aware of anything, you've not realized what you need to change, what you need to do, then there is no way you're going to become the person you need to be. And if you don't become the person you need to be, you will not be able to protect and preserve, your genealogy. You wouldn't. And so you just keep multiplying traumas and traumas and traumas and traumas over and again.
It feels exhausting just thinking about that. I'm just yeah. I'm just like, no. All those stories, like, growing up, you might, get hurt or something by a guy, and you get into this energy where you're just like, I can't trust men, or just all this stuff. Like, love is so much better.
Yeah.
Like, just love when you're just open and just there and you're able to express yourself and all that good old stuff. Like, there's nothing better than just take off all that stuff, let it go, let all the baggage go, and just be present.
Yeah.
And I think most people are not emotionally present. They're always living in the past and constantly replaying things in their head and their minds about all these things. And I think that stops people from actually being able to connect at a deeper level.
Yep. I say it. You have to kill yourself for yourself to be reborn.
Yep.
Because you have to let go of the old you for the new you to emerge.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody loves butterflies, but the struggle the moth has to, the struggle that it has to go through to emerge. It's not the sexiest thing, right? But if you want to spread your wings, you have to come out of your cocoon. So it's very, very important.
You got to do your inner work.
Yep. It is very, very important.
Come to one of my retreats.
Yep.
No, but seriously. So something else I want to talk about is like a lot of the times when you have, successful men, they're really good at providing financially, right? Like, okay, like I do this for her, I do that for her, all this stuff. But what I've noticed is sometimes it's hard to understand, like, it's more than just providing financially. It's like really being there emotionally, hearing her, feeling her needs on all levels, like even sexual, all these things. Like there's a lot of underlying things that sometimes are missing in these relationships that I see with people. So as a man, like, how do you get to that place where you can provide that level of love for a woman?
Yeah, I say first off, emotional intelligence is very, very important. But you have to want it for you to have it. Because it's very, very easy for you to make hundreds of millions. Yeah. But running a household, leading a household, that requires a whole nother level of work. And for me, I think I've always wanted to be an amazing dad. I've always envisioned what it would be like, raising my kids, like taking my girls to the salon, doing their nails and stuff like that. And so it reflects in the kind of man I am. But a man also has to want it for him to be it, right? Because it is be, do, have. You be the kind of person, then exhibit the characteristics of that person. Only then do you have the qualities of that person. So if you as a man don't understand that, yes, it's cool, I think any successful man can throw money at the woman, but it requires extra work for you to also learn to make her feel seen
and maintaining the relationship.
Right? Exactly. And of course, like anyone can say, oh, because I have a busy schedule. Bro, it doesn't cost you anything to take out your phone and be like, babe, I'm going to be busy today, but I just want you to know that I'm thinking of you.
Yes.
The girl, right? I mean, when I was coming here, I told my girl, I'm like, I'm going for a podcast. Once I'm back, I'm coming to see you. I'll take you out for stuff like that. It's little things, right? And I have a crazy busy schedule like this. The beginning of the Q3, I have loads of stuff to do. Right. But involve your partner in the process. Right. I don't think anyone who truly loves you wants to feel excluded from the things that you're doing. And that's why, like, I was surprised when people were like, yeah, I said if I want to make a business decision, I'll be like, I need to call my girl. It's true. Like, if I love this person and I truly care about that, it's not because she's going to help me.
They were mad
business.
in those comments.
Yeah, like, but they can't understand we're in different tax brackets.
It's
like,
a different level.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's not really about I helping me make the decision, but me looking for a different perspective and trying to understand this is the vision we're building together. But I also want that input. Like, it's not every time someone tells you this is what I need you to do that you go ahead and do it. But at least let them understand that, hey, I cherish your opinion, right? So one, I think every guy should read Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Coleman. It's a very, very good book. It's dense, like, because it is very, very deep.
This is a key I'm noticing. He reads a lot.
Yeah, I read a lot.
All right.
And then the second book will be The Way of the Superior Man by Data. I've forgotten his name. I think David Data.
I've heard a lot about that.
Yeah, the book is very, very good. And then the last one will be Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. If you can read these three books as a man and you understand at the core, then trust me, you will never have any issue having a successful relationship with the quality woman that you seek. Because yes, I think the issue is also because a lot of men are conned in the beginning when they are working on their journey to becoming wealthy. So they know they don't have the money or anything to take care of a woman, right? And then when you get to the middle, like, you're still trying to stabilize, so you don't really have that much attention for women. Or the women that you meet are just like, okay, it's sex, nothing deep. And then you now get to the point where you have a lot of money now, you have loads of attention from women. So it's like, they tend to think, okay, I can buy her time with my money. But the truth is, except she is a sex worker or that's what she does for a living, it won't work, right?
Yeah.
So you have to also invest. For me, I think it also stems from the fact that I actually want a happy home. And I know it really requires a lot of work on your own path. Because my partner is raised from a different environment, has different worldview and all of that. But it's us coming together and deciding this is the life that we want and solidifying that. And all I've always thought is, how can I make the woman I'm with happy and also feel elevated? Like, how can I take her from whatever position she is to exalt her to the queen that she is? I believe every woman is born a queen, but it's her actions or inactions that determines if she stays a queen or she becomes a maid, right? But you can take come into a woman's life and transform her worldview just through your own actions. Because it's not what you say, it's also what you do. Right? So show, don't tell.
Consistently do.
Exactly. So that's my own belief though. Like,
I think that was just in you to a certain level. Like, those are like your core values and just something that you really, really
I've always wanted.
Is in there, right? Yeah. Okay. So basically, in a sense, choose men who value that. They value family. They value wanting to have that sense of home and security and that love. You can't make somebody want certain things. Yep. They have to want it within themselves. And I think a lot of times as women, we're like, we'll see somebody and we're like, oh my God, I see so much potential in him from both levels and stuff. But I really believe that no, like, you need to deal with people who show you consistently that where they're at, how they feel about it, and they show that with their actions. Your values, like the values that you have, you show that with your actions, okay? Period. You're like, no, I value family. I'm going to make sure my children are straight. I don't even have children right now, and they're already good. Like, that is the type of energy that I see you. That's amazing. That's really amazing. And I don't know exactly where you get that level of maturity and everything and all that kind of stuff, because that's very unusual. Like, you're at 26. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, that is amazing. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it all just stems from I say when you come from nothing, everything is profit.
Yeah.
Right? I really had to build my life from scratch by myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have like a role model growing up that I could say, even when it comes to finances, like when I made my first $1 million, I didn't even know who I could tell that, oh, I made this money, please. How do I go about it? So I had to constantly invest into self-learning. I've always read, like, I think if you read 1,000 books, you learn to lead 1,000 lives through 1,000 eyes. So like you can just pay money to fast track your journey by investing into other people's experiences and knowing, oh, okay, this is how to go about this. Plus, now my circle of guy friends are mostly people who are engaged or married. And a lot of my friends are way older than I am. Like, like most of my friends are like 5, 10, 20 years older than I am. And so I also look for happily married couples. And I just wanted to sit at your feet and learn, what keeps you guys happy?
Right.
What keeps you? And a lot of them tell me that honor your woman.
I was just thinking that.
All of them tell me honor your woman. Like if you want to live long and you want to stay successful, honor your woman.
Yes.
Because if you honor a woman, she will turn a desert into a plantation for you. She will turn a house into a home. I don't think you get into a place that a woman has touched with her feminine energy and it stays the same ever. It never
always
happens.
grows.
It always changes, always grows, right? And the best thing an ambitious man can find is a feminine woman.
It's gonna
because she would
multiply everything.
allow you do your thing and even push you more than anything. Because she doesn't necessarily have to say, hey, do this. But because you want to take good care of her, you'll go all in just to be able to provide more for her than the life she already has. Right? So I think a man knows when he sees a woman if he wants to be with you or not.
Yeah.
Like just by interacting with you, he can instantly sense, because I don't know about every other guy, but all of my friends that I've asked say, when I met her, I just knew this is my woman, right? Like it's not about how many years, how many months, how many days. It's just about the interaction, the vibe. Like the energy is never lie. I think, well, because I'm very in tune with my own energy. And I say it, I found myself before the world found me, right? So I'm very in tune with my energy and I know what I want. And I also know what I don't want. So when I see a woman and I'm like, oh, okay, nah, she's not it. She's not it. Just mentally, I just assess. So yeah, like I've always just had clarity. I think I'm thankful for that. And I'm also clairvoyant. Like I'm able to predict to an extent what my future will look like. I may not get the details down to a T,
But you see the image.
but I can see the kind of person I want to be. So
Yeah.
And yeah, like if you have your values in check, nothing changes.
But I noticed the greatest men that seem to be successful on all levels, they inherently have a respect, either spiritually or just in some kind of way when it comes to women.
Yeah.
Like they really do believe in like femininity.
Yep.
They don't just believe in just, I'm just, it's whatever. They're like, no, they understand the woman from a spiritual level.
Yeah.
Like it seems like they understand that if you love this woman and pour into her, she's going to overflow. Like there's like a reverence that they have for women.
So I'll give you an instance. In the Quran, there's a whole chapter dedicated to the mother of Jesus, Surah Al-Maryam.
Yes.
And all it does is really glorify who a woman is.
Yes.
Right?
What is that?
Surah Al-Maryam, it's a chapter in the Quran that is dedicated to the mother of Jesus.
I have to read that after this.
And there is no man who is made or mad that doesn't have an element of a woman's touch to it. Like, look at how Samson was powerful in the Bible, right? His downfall was caused by a woman, right? And then Solomon also, his downfall was caused by a woman, right? David, his downfall was caused by a woman. If you treat a woman with scorn, just be ready to have the gates of hell unleashed on you, right? So
She's the influence.
if there's anyone who understands very, very well that if you treat women good, doors will open for you because women have influence, right?
They're the metaphysical.
And so if you treat, I think there are some doors that have opened for me just because I had good women in my environment.
Absolutely.
Like, because, okay, if a man is obstinate about getting some things done, you send the right woman to him, she would trigger the hot buttons that he has and he would make that decision happen. And I say, like, it's not even sex, like, just a woman who is properly in tune with her femininity can sit with you and seduce you mentally, and you'll be like, boy, yeah, I'll do whatever you say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I say, like, if women really know what sits within them, they are unstoppable. But it takes a lot of inner work for you to unlock that version
That's
of
the
you.
divine feminine.
Yeah.
Like we talk about on my channel, okay?
Because I've always just cherished the things I cherish. Like,
Yeah.
it never interests me. I say it's like, if you're a guy and you're trying to sleep with multiple women, you just end up shallow.
Yeah.
And you don't get anything.
You don't get any of the
life.
depth of a woman, like the actual gift of what the feminine brings.
So, we give life, women make life.
Yes.
So
I love that. Yes. Period.
yeah, women, I respect you guys a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I do. And I'm not just saying it.
And
because
not
I'm
too
saying
prideful to actually, I do serve women and I do honor and respect women.
Yeah.
There's so many men who are like, oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, leadership is in service.
Yeah.
If you're a leader, you lead by example, right? If you're a general, you have to be on the war front to inspire actions in your disciples, right? In your soldiers. So you have to lead from the front. Yes. So if you want to lead an household, you have to serve.
Period. And I always tell men, this went viral on my page a little bit. I said, look, if you want to be rich, give to women. Like, give to your sisters, give to your mom, give to your woman that you care about, be loyal, treat women right. Because I'm telling you, when you give from like a genuine place to a woman, it just overflows, it multiplies. There's not one guy I know that actually like really goes in, spoils a woman in his life, that he's not like blessed infinitely. Because you're first of all, as a man, you're coming from a place of abundance. Naturally, that state is going to attract that because you're like, I have a lot to give. But when you're like, I can't give this, I have, I don't have a lot. It's like, you don't. You're not going to have a lot. Because you don't have much to give.
Yep. And honestly, I believe in that. And I also say it, if you hold your hand like a fist, you never get anything, right?
Yes.
But if you have this, you get much in return.
Yes. So. Okay. I love that.
But yeah, this is fun. And I hope you guys find value in this. Once again, thank you for hosting me. Jamie.
Yes.
You can find me on IG, the Abdul Qawiyy, and on YouTube. And tap in if you want to learn how I'm building my watch brand to the $100 million mark.
Period. Yes, guys. That was a beautiful, beautiful episode. It was amazing connecting with you in person in Dubai. It's definitely amazing here. You guys need to check it out. But yes, thank you so much for coming along. Subscribe.